I grew up like the child of so many immigrants, where my family worked so hard and waited so long to be able to come to the United States, and they were fleeing communism, where all the stories I've heard was just about, scarcity. There was no sense of economic hope or economic mobility. You could have money and still not be able to buy anything because the shelves would be empty, because there was always just scarcity in terms of goods when all the resources were allocated and controlled by the government. And the hope part really resonated with me in the sense that my mom just dreamt of America because it represented hope. It represented freedom.
Yeah.
And so they waited so many decades to be able to come. And so I just saw them work so hard, and their big thing was just get an education and you can make anything happen. If you work hard, you can do anything. That didn't exist where they come from. If you were born poor in Poland, you probably died poor. And so it meant so much that they really believed in the American dream, and they instilled me with the belief in it as well. But then I went off to college and the great financial crisis hit. And they had taken on a mortgage, and then everything was going great for a while until it wasn't, with housing prices, right?
Yep.
And so right before the housing bubble popped, my mom had taken like a home equity loan in order to start a business. And then the market crashed and my parents lost everything. They had to file for bankruptcy. And it made me realize that, the mirage of, oh, you just got to go to a school and, you tick off these boxes, you follow this formula and you're going to be fine. It was a lie. So many people in that decade of like 2010 to 2020, after the great financial crisis, everyone was starting to feel like, whoa, what happened here? Like, is the American dream within reach? Does it actually exist anymore? Why am I working harder for less? Why do I need 2 incomes or 3 incomes to afford what you could afford on 1 income in the past? Why is the cost of education and healthcare soaring? And for my parents, I think it was really interesting because they were, talking to their peers and friends back in Poland, and Poland was sort of emerging and becoming a more capitalist society, emerging out of communism, and their peer group was starting to have a better quality of life than they were having in America, which was like, they left everything, sacrificed everything to come here. And so I quickly realized that there's a problem, but I couldn't connect the dots to our monetary system until Bitcoin.